Ladybug. I don't know if somebody released ladybugs, but they are everywhere out here right now. I love it. Such a good friend to have in the garden. So we're putting the garden to bed for winter. You guys already know I pulled out tomatoes and cucumbers, and tomatillos. I pulled out the fence, and I'm putting all that to bed. My celery is still growing. I just don't know if it's going to mature enough to harvest this year. It's too skinny. It's still really bitter. I can use the leaves, but I mean, I've got a whole row of whole heads, but I just don't think it's going to pay off. So what do I do to put my deep mulch garden to bed? Well, I've got wood chips that will, on the other side of that fence, we'll bring them in and cover up this whole area with wood chips. But in between, as you know, I'm leaving all the healthy plants. So I'm doing another row of tomatoes here of aromas. You can see, you know, they weren't worth picking to save their rotting, and so I'll do a row of that. But what we're doing is also bringing in grass clippings that don't have seed on them, right? If the grass is tall enough to seed, you don't want it. So grass clippings, and then leaves. We've got a plethora of leaves. So, you know, I do no-till gardening and deep mulch, so I don't have weeds. I don't have to weed, which means I'm going to do probably, I'd like to do 3 inches of grass and leaves, layered or mixed. Doesn't matter to me. Sometimes they come kind of mixed up in the lawnmower. And then we'll top with 2 or 3 inches of wood chips. So what is that, like 6-7 inches? You know, it's not an exact science, but last year we only came in with a couple inches of chips. And you can see I'm down to decomposed wood chips. You know, I call this soil, I call it dirt, but it's really just decomposed organic matter. There's no real soil in here, but it's wonderful for growing. It's light and fluffy. It's like a cake mix. I always say that. It's like German chocolate cake mix. It's just wonderful. It's just full of microbes, tons of worms, mycelium, which is mushrooms, you know. It's all mixed up in here. So anyway, that's how I put my gardens to bed. I will do the same thing, top dress in leaves and grass clippings for my above ground beds. My big containers I'm leaving, etc., etc. So we shall see what happens. If I can't get any more celery, if I can't harvest any, I might just cut it all off at the base, throw these stalks everywhere to decompose, and then cover it up and see if I get any back next year. You know, I don't know. Can you do that? Let's see. Definitely I'm going to have about 10 million tomatoes here next year, but you know what? It keeps me from having to plant them. The birds are happy, and everybody's happy. And then got my cucumbers. I'm doing the same thing too. So Swiss chard, it always comes back every year on its own. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so that's how you put a garden to bed. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.